All right. So if someone could confirm that you can actually hear me, because I've just got an untested mic, it would be amazingly helpful. That way I do not talk too long without anyone being able to hear me. Ahoy, Jill. Okay, great. Very nice sound. Excellent. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Peggy and Victoria, Bonnie, Susan, Gabrielle, as always, Gabrielle Strong, Ruth, ahoy. And to Susan and Beth and Fred, of course. Fred, one of the longest time Nada Knots. Hello to Sandra and Beverly and Cashew, as always, and Susan Gregor. Excellent, loud and clear. Yes, and Saban, a fellow Southern Arizonan. And hello to Tina out in Maryland. Bonjour, Paul and Colette. Cindy as well. Great to see you. So if you are here for the first time, welcome to the Do Nothing Project. I am not Jeff. So I'm filling in for Jeff. I'm usually in the chat doing moderation and things. But I'm filling in for Jeff. For those who invariably will ask what's up with Jeff, Jeff and his family are out celebrating a very, very close longtime friend turning 50. So, and I've recently celebrated a continuation day. I notice my Buddhist friends like to say that instead of birthday. And so I'm now 47. So that's always an interesting time to reflect on things when you're aging, seemingly more rapidly. And then hello to Beverly and folks. I'm sure I won't be able to say hi to everyone because I'm not used to being on the iPad. So it's everything moves much more quickly. So yeah, what to expect. As Jeff says, it's good to keep your expectations very low. We have low production value, as you can see here. I've got my white wall behind me. And, oh, hey, happy birthday and happy continuation day to you too, Ben. Hello, Elizabeth in the Emerald City, I think is the nickname for Seattle. So we keep our production values are very low, so it's helpful to keep your expectations also low. I still haven't figured out where to look, so I'm not used to the fact that the camera is over there and chat is over here, and then for the life of me I can't get this to like quite be the way that I want it to be. So hello Anna. So we'll figure this out eventually, but today is probably not the day that we'll figure it out. So what to expect? 25-minute sit. That sit will have limited guidance, but it will be guided. And there will be a 25-minute loving kindness or friendliness practice that kind of caps it off. And then there's usually a theme. And I think I lead a sit on Wednesdays now that's at 8:15 Eastern, and that's 7:15 Central, 6:15 Mountain, and then 5:15 Pacific. But I'm being very North American centric, so apologies to the folks that do. We do have a fair amount of people, which always is incredibly flattering to me. That I love Australia. Just as a quick aside, moderate tangent. I've been there twice. Absolutely love visiting, and I want to go back. But we do have a bunch of people who will tune in live from Australia, from the future. I always love to have viewers from the future. That's always amazing. So on Wednesday, I said I was going to potentially do something out of this Linda Berry book, What It Is. And don't forget, yes, I cannot forget I cannot forget the New Zealand and folks from New Zealand tuning in. We do have a fair amount of folks from New Zealand as well. We have one or two people tuning in from very late times in past the GMT on the other side of the Greenwich Mean Time as well. So as Jeff will often say, incredibly flattered by everyone that it is able to come and be part of the community. The community is really a pivotal part of what keeps everything going. So, but this Wednesday, I digress. This Wednesday, I said I would use this as my theme, and I love that, Paul. Yes, welcome tomorrow, people. And I'm not going to use that as my theme, and I've already talked for 5 minutes, so hopefully I'll figure out a way to tell you my theme really quickly, and that is I recently read Brad Stulberg's book, Master of Change, and in there he has a rewording or reframing of the Buddha's first noble truth, or if you're partial to Stephen Batchelor's view or inaction, the view from inaction, it's the first ennobling truth, or the first four. Sometimes people will just drop the truth out of there. And the translation that Stulberg has, I think, is one that is from other scholars, but the notion is, in essence, that instead of saying that life is suffering or life is unsatisfactory, which we'll often see as the translation for the word dukkha, there are a lot of people who advocate for just having dukkha as a word in the language, or just sort of pulling it into English as a whole, and not trying to sort of cast it in our terminology as far as translation. But Stulberg had pointed out that if you break apart dukkha, the prefix du means to face, and then ka means difficulties. And so another way of thinking about the first noble truth from the Buddha is life is difficult to face, or we could say that life is filled with things that are difficult to face. And I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a Pali scholar, first off. I'm not a Buddhist scholar, but just hearing that framing of life is filled with things that are difficult to face, it resonates very much with me, because it has this notion of the relationality of us to how we're looking at coming into, or in essence interacting with life. And so for reasons of probably just normal life, I'm finding that notion of life has things in it, or life is filled with things that are difficult to face, remarkably important as a way of, granted, it may not be 100% correct from a Pali sort of translation perspective, but I'm somebody who favors sort of the improvisational jazz version of translations that you see in the work of Red Pine, or that you see in Brad Warner's work, where he does paraphrasings of Dogen. And so I thought that would be one of the things that we would look at a little bit, is just the notion that when we sit and we do nothing, there is something incredibly important that we are doing, which is we're present here in our life. So we're not necessarily saying like, this is amazing, and we're not necessarily saying this sucks. So we're like sort of adding no superlatives to our day. Our day just is. So it's not the worst day ever, and it's not the best day ever. It's a day, and it's awesome because it's a day. So that's where I'm going to play with as far as the guidance, and it'll be minimal. Welcome, Suzanne, just in time. Lucky for you, Suzanne, I've talked too much, and so we haven't started our sit yet. But yeah, so that's what's stealing from Sensei Al leads the Zen group that I'm a part of here, and he will often ask a question of, at the end of his Dharma talks of like, what is alive for or let me know, or bringing forward what's alive for you right now. And so that's kind of the theme today, is really what's alive for me in the last like 18 days of my life. Has been a lot of things that they're things, and they aren't a surprise, but they're difficult to face. So that's where we're heading. Yeah, you made it, Kent. I was killing some time just for you to make it, Kent. So yeah, I'm gonna put 25 minutes on the well, if I don't do that, put 25 minutes on the clock. Thank you again for the nearly 200 people that have come. It's really super awesome. So we'll do that. As always, a reminder at the top, if you have your own practice and you're really here as a part of the gathering, or gathering as part of the support, totally welcome to just allow me to kind of be noise in the background. 100% fine. Do your own practice. It's always a thing that is welcome. And then we'll talk, or I'll offer, at least at the beginning, this notion of if you get lost from where I'm offering guidance, you're always welcome to come back to sort of just a really bare bones practice. All right. And I have positioned my bell in advance. So here we go. Hello to Brooke. All right. So just settling in here. I'm doing that with the notion that you may be sort of in one of the 4 meditation postures. So it's possible that you could be walking, lying down, standing, or sitting. So just know that if you are in one of those other 3 postures, do your best to translate what I offer for posture suggestions into those. Really just beginning to take a posture that helps us to be both relaxed and alert. And we can often leverage on the cues from the body to get that relaxed alertness. So an upright spine without efforting. And then as we shift from being in motion or being active to more of just being, allowing ourselves enough room and affording us enough patience to allow the body to settle in with each breath. And taking a moment to see if there's any tension in the body. And not because we're trying to chase it off, but more just as an acknowledgement. More of an, oh, you're here. And we might find tension around the shoulders, maybe in the back, in the jaw, around the eyes. And again, if it's there, it's our opportunity to allow it with a no big deal attitude. And then a few deliberate breaths, leaning on the wisdom of the Beastie Boys. Slow and low is the tempo. Breathing in through the nose allows us to breathe in slow. And as we breathe in slow, we can breathe low into the belly. And if we can extend or even accentuate the exhale, it provides the body a cue that it's okay to shift into a rest and relaxation mode. And so before I guide you any further, just marking this spot we're at right here as a waypoint. Just sort of a notion of sitting and being aware that you're sitting, or sitting knowing that you're sitting. So this is a complete practice in and of itself, just that. So you're welcome to stay right here, or you're welcome to return right here at any point. And so as we're settling in, just sort of allowing ourselves to feel a bit more stable with each exhale. And we can find stability in stillness. That's likely true for most people, but can also find stability in that familiar rhythm. So that maybe is the slight movement of the spine up as you inhale and the settling in as you exhale. Maybe the slight expansion in the ribs, or the movement of the belly. And so there's often stability in movement. And if that's not the case, again, no big deal. You're always welcome to shift to working with a home base, whether that's sounds or the breath. And as we settle in, just see if we can drop all of the superlatives. So this it right now isn't competing for anything. It just is. So adding the best or the worst, any of that is extra. And before I let you explore a bit on your own here, just offering a reminder about the approach of do nothing, or the technique of no technique. So the notion is that we're not doing anything to shepherd or control our attention. So we're dropping any of the intentions to control our attention. You can say that we're letting the attention be free range. And then if we notice that we're trying to subtly shape or guide any of that, and we let that go. And if we let go a number of times, then we can say that whatever's going on is sort of what is the current attitude of the mind, and just let that be as well. And so go ahead and explore on your own, and I'll check in here in a bit. And so if you're working with a home base, it's kind of easy to see when you've drifted from the home base, and then you know we can always begin again. So when we're working with the home base, we notice our attention is drawn away, and then if we can, we bring our attention back in the most kind way possible. But if we're doing this technique of no technique, or this do nothing thing, we might just sort of notice that the attention isn't as sharp, or something like that. Like it kind of just doesn't feel quite right. So if you want, you can always sort of reset. And maybe that reset is stretching up in the posture and settling back in. And that could be paired with a few deliberate breaths. And then a settling back in. And then shifting back to just allowing the attention to kind of roam free. And it's kind of wild when you first realize this, but sometimes just a tweak of your posture can really help in the sharpness or clarity of the attention. So you may notice that your shoulders have moved up, or you're slumped to one side just a little bit. And just know that you can reset your posture at any time. You have an infinite number of resets. And if you're in a good groove, then awesome. And so keep going, and I'll check in when we shift to our friendliness practice. Okay, and we'll shift into our friendliness practice. I think I've done a version of kind of the idea that you can kind of send love zaps or like these appreciative sort of nods to folks. And so I'm just wanting to focus on just bringing warmth, if possible, to how you offer the phrase, and kind of lean into the visual part if you like that. So just bringing to mind someone who's done something helpful and just offering this, may you know that you're appreciated, as our phrase. And maybe it's a bodhisattva of food service who helped you when a glass was knocked over or a utensil wasn't missing. May you know you are appreciated. And if that doesn't resonate totally, maybe you can tweak it a bit. May you know you are seen and valued. There is something very warm and cathartic about being seen, and that in turn showing that you're valued. And bringing to mind another individual. Maybe this is somebody who helped you find something at a hardware store, made your life a little bit easier. May you know you are appreciated. May you know you are seen and valued. Maybe it's a neighbor who helped you out. Maybe they got some of your mail and they brought it over for you. Bringing them to mind visually, or even the sound of their voice, if that's available for you. May you know you are appreciated. And maybe there's someone who's helped out school with your kids. Maybe there's an especially helpful teacher. May you know you are appreciated. May you know you are seen and valued. And switching just as much as it's comfortable for you. If you want to linger on the same person for a bit, it's totally fine. Maybe there's a pet that's really helped you out and gotten you through a rough spot. May you know you are seen and valued. May you know you are appreciated. And then maybe there's a group of people that have been helpful recently. Maybe it's even a support group. Maybe it's your Sangha. Maybe it's this group. May you know you are appreciated. May you feel seen and know you are valued. And you can always shorten the phrases if that helps. Appreciated, seen, valued. And then just expanding, anyone that hasn't come to mind so far, if you can bring them to your attention. Offering the phrases, seeing if you can stoke a bit of warmth. May you feel appreciated. You are seen and valued. And then quick, I know we don't do merit dedications all that much, but may any merit generated in our sit tonight go to benefit all beings. Thank you. Thank you for your practice. Thank you for sticking through my lengthy theme at the beginning. You're incredibly welcome, Aaron and Jill and Bill. Thank you so much for joining live. A big thank you to the folks that are watching the recorded version. We do notice you. Oh, hey, Mike G. You're very welcome. Thank you again, Mike G. As I mentioned before, I've been doing sits on Wednesdays, so if you want to look for something that you can kind of bump into your week for a little bit more support for your meditation practice, you can find that on YouTube. If you look for Andrew Lenards Meditation, that's Andrew, Lenards Meditation. Tomorrow is a Monday night for the CEC. I think Paradox is the current theme. So let me grab this question really quick, make sure I don't miss it. So again, the CEC is at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Jeff will be here next week. If you are a fan of Matthew McConaughey, or you like his calm sleep meditation, Jeff has done an interview with Matthew McConaughey on his latest children's book, or his first children's book, called Just Because, that has come out. You can find that on Calm's YouTube channel. Quick question. Taking... Oh, I lost that. So there we go. Oh, that is incredibly good to hear, Ruth. So Jill had the question, Wednesday where? I don't think anybody's moderating today, so thankfully no bots showed up. But Jill, if you go to youtube.com and you search for Andrew Lenards. Okay, you got it. Cool. All right, awesome. Just wanted to make sure I answered that. And then I'm having this, like, I don't know if anybody else has done live streams where you read a question and then your brain just goes like, I don't know what that question says. Do you know which one it was? Okay. Jeff, so one was talking about it can change apps anyway. I don't know that, so Kent, you have my email. Send me can you send me that question and maybe word it a little bit? That way I can maybe hopefully get you an answer. All right. Oh, thank you, Gabrielle. Okay, cool. I don't know how people feel about merit, extending merit totally all the time. I know that's kind of, sometimes that's a little more Buddhist-y thing. I do know I went through a recent training, and in the Vajrayana world, merit dedications are kind of like viewed as hitting the save button on your document when you're done writing. It's kind of like a thing you need to do. Oh, hello, Lily. You are incredibly welcome. Buenos Aires is an amazing city. I visited there years ago when I was gallivanting around the globe. I traveled for work years ago, and I got to meet a bunch of folks there that were doing some streaming service work for streaming media. And it was really, I loved being in Buenos Aires. So, oh, awesome. Thank you, Brooke. Okay, cool. Oh, Kent reworded it and I didn't see it. Thank you, Ben. Let me see if I can. Oh, okay. The I Ching. There is an I Ching app, and if you email me, I can get you it. I don't know which I Ching app. I don't know which I Ching app Jeff uses per se. And I think it is. The. So if I find out from Jeff, I'll pass that on. And actually, for folks that are listening in, if I find out from Jeff, I'll include it in the description for this video. But yeah, so, and when Jeff says he uses the I Ching, like, he's not kidding. Like, he will do the equivalent of throws prior to conversations, and so I think it's kind of a cool thing to check out. So definitely cool. Yeah, meditation party is where he mentioned that. Thank you. That helps the context. But yeah, so if you email me, I can try to figure that out. I know I was asking Jeff for advice, oh gosh, maybe 2 years ago now, and Jeff was like, let's see what the I Ching says. He's like, I have some thoughts, but let's see what the I Ching says. And so anyway, I can like very much 100% say that he does that. Like that's not, that's a thing. So hopefully that's not me sharing too much. Excellent. Thank you, Virtual Debs. So I really do appreciate this. Again, to Jeff and Lynn and Lauren and Lily and everybody behind the scenes from the Do Nothing Project. It's always an honor to fill in. I'm super, super appreciative of that. I absolutely feel I feel an incredible sense of community from chat, and I feel even more community when I'm in front of the camera. So thank you for your patience and your attention. So I said Jeff will be back next week. We have at least the announcement that the Consciousness Explorers podcast will have new episodes coming in the new year. And then Wednesday night, 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 Pacific. You'll find that at Andrew Lenards, Lenards. And then Lenards Coaching is a way to get a hold of me on Instagram. So I'm supposed to always think of these things to say. And then I forgot to look up who the guide is for CEC. Big shout out to Aaron though. So I know Aaron is often either watching in live or in recording, and so I always try to make sure to mention the Monday night CEC sets. So and then they just had their fall retreat too. So all right, signing off. Thank you everyone. Humanity's bow. Have a great week, and maybe I'll see some folks on Wednesday. Thank you.